Hi, I'm Nate with Average Jack Archery Pro Shopping Range here in Phillipsburg, PA, and AverageJackArchery.com. And today I want to talk about the two methods that I use to ascend and descend the tree, the pros and cons of each, the price points of each, and whether you should be using something like a Madrock safeguard or something tried and true as an arborist figure 8. So number one thing I will say is that once I started rappelling out of trees, whether that's while I'm one sticking or using multiple sticks, it is inarguably the safest thing that I have ever done. Period. There is no, I mean, people ask all the time, do you feel saddle hunting is safe? You know, do you like this thing more than that thing? I can tell you without any ambiguity whatsoever, rappelling out of a tree, whether I'm one sticking with my saddle or using multiple sticks with my saddle, rappelling is by far the most safe thing, the most secure thing I have ever done while climbing in and out of a tree. It just feels so right. There was never a point where I have a slack moment with a lineman's belt. I'm never trying to find a stick again. I'm literally just coming out of the tree like Batman, and even though it looks complicated and it looks very arduous, I can tell you, no matter your age, you can do this. Okay, it's really, really simple. A little bit of practice here at ground level and you can become a master and stay safe and tethered the entire time. The big thing for me with saddle hunting over tree stand, and why I prefer to saddle hunt, is I'm always under load, right? So there is a rope always holding me under load. There's never a time where anything is just kind of slack. All right, so when you're in a tree stand, you got that 4-point safety harness coming out the back. There has to be a little slack in it so you can sit down. Or even if you sit down and you fall, your legs are still going to go underneath your platform. Where with the saddle, and particularly rappelling, there's never a point where I'm disassociated to the tree. I'm always completely under load with my weight, connected to the tree the entire time. So I've had some issues going up and down trees where sticks have slipped out and I felt a little bit slack underneath my lineman's belt, or in particular I'm coming down the tree in the dark, or you shoot something in the morning and you're all jacked up, right? You're just trying to find your sticks 15, 20 foot up a tree. This has eliminated all of that. So I'm going to go through them today, and we're going to start first with the Madrock safeguard. So my one stick is set low. I got my rope up there so I don't go too far out of frame. So this isn't going to be a full, 20-foot demonstration, because as soon as you point the camera up into the canopy, it looks terrible. But you'll get the concept here, only 8 foot from the ground. A mechanical ascender is what we're going to be dealing with, whether we are using a Madrock or we're using the figure 8. I'll explain more with the figure 8. I like to use a Ropeman 1 ascender. You can, however, get away with a Prusik, so you can even eliminate more money and more metal out of the equation. Prusiks are just harder to push up and down. I'm sure the comment section will be full of people telling me distal hitches and all sorts of other stuff they could use, but the most common thing that people find and know how to use safely is a Prusik. So when you go to ascend the tree with the figure 8, you'll have that Prusik bite a lot harder. It's harder to move it, but it still can be done. I like to focus with the mechanical ascenders because they're made nicely and built for this exact application. To load a Madrock safeguard is very straightforward. You want to start with it facing you, obviously. Your main line is going to be coming down from the tree. So this is the main line coming down from the tree. It's going to go in the left side. Then it's going to loop underneath, okay, again, towards the top of the tree. You'll close the gate down over top of that. Okay, so now this will function completely as an ascender. So your carabiner is going to go here. So when your main line pulls on it, it pinches and doesn't move. But then when you grab the tag in that's towards the ground, it will feed line through it. Okay, so you're able to mechanically ascend the tree. If you're very familiar with the Ropeman 1, that's how it works. Now to descend the tree, there is the gate and the lever on the back. So you're able to relieve tension in the brake and descend out of the tree. That's the basic concept here. Now, regardless of whatever method you use, you always use a backup Prusik. I'm going to show you that on the tree over here. You can piecemeal this with buying it directly from Wild Country, which makes the Ropeman 1, or the Madrock safeguard. Obviously, you can buy directly from Madrock. I buy all my stuff from the Hang Free company. That's where I get all my ropes and Prusiks and everything. Those guys down in Florida really know what they're doing. To get your carabiner into a Madrock, you want to open the gate and push the hook this way. Don't bring it this way, because then it'll put the gate up against the tree and you don't want that. So we're going to feed that through. And I like to start with it around head height, because back here, I'm going to grab my backup. This is a wrapped Prusik or a single Prusik. There are many different ways. You can use a regular Prusik. You can do it this way. But this is the backup that I'm going to use on my hip. So here then I have that'll get connected to my tether, and then this Prusik here, which you can see has plenty of bite, is going to get connected to my hip on my lineman's loop. So I'm going to go ahead and connect it to my lineman's loop. And right now I'm making a lot of noise. I don't care. This is just for demonstration purposes. Again, if I pull here, it's going to bite it. So I got to kind of open the gate here to be able to pull down and feed rope through. Then I can go ahead and expand my bridge. I don't like to have my bridge all the way out. I like to add a little bit of tension here. all right? Because now I'm tethered to the tree. So as soon as I go ahead and pull that rope up, that's all I got to do. You notice how it's gaining line, and now I can sit on it, right? So we're going to pretend that I'm climbing the tree here. Let's just jump up. And as you inchworm your way up the tree, you would obviously grab your tag line and pull it up, and that's how you'd get your way to you know, moving your one stick. Or if you had a line like this already established at the tree, you could work up your sticks that way as you're setting them. You could also just rock a lineman's belt, right? And of course, as I go, I want to make sure that I'm grabbing my prusik and keeping this relatively, you know, some slack here, but not a ton. If this were ever to break, I want this to be able to catch me. Of course, it's only going to catch me on my right hip, but that's better than not catching me at all and sending me to the ground. To descend, this is a very straightforward process. No matter what kind of prusik you're using, you never grab the actual knot. Ever. Ever. Always grab above the knot, because if you fall, your natural reaction is going to be to grip it. And when you grip in a loosened prusik, you loosen it, and it's just going to send rope through it, and then you're going to definitely fall to the ground. Whereas if you grab above it, eventually your strength won't be as strong as your weight pulling, and the prusik will catch with your hand, okay? So never grab the prusik knot directly. So I'm just going to grab above it. I'm going to get the gate. And this is the learning curve here when it comes to the Madrock safeguard. I'm going to start adding tension. Notice it's starting to slowly let me out. If I go quickly, right, and I can let go of the gate at any time, and I'll descend. However, and this is the fly in the ointment, this is the most expensive method, and it is mechanical top to bottom. Some people don't like that. Some people prefer that they don't have mechanical ascension because they have no plans on going back up once they start going down. This is meant to go both ways. So when you add things that are meant to go both ways, now you have 2 points of failure, right? I've been hunting with this now for 2 years and have not had a problem with it. I'm 220 pounds out of the shower with a fully loaded backpack with all my camera gear. I got my bow hanging on. I mean, I'm every bit of 260 pounds probably or more with all my gear on, including my camera gear. So, you know, some people, they get wigged out about this. But again, I'm just maintaining tension here with my right hand. If I ever need to stop, I just let go. And I don't even need to let go completely. I can just take out the tension a little bit, right? The hardest part is if you have a big stop, is getting to go again, okay? So the Madrock Safeguard, as nice as it is, if you don't want that and you just want to have one fluid motion as you go to the ground, you can do that. Figure eights, if you're an arborist, if you're a lineman, you know exactly what this is. If you've rock climbed ever before, you know exactly what this is. It has a big hole and a little one. Big hole goes towards the big thing, which is the tree. Little hole goes towards the little thing, which is me, the person, okay? Again, main line, this is the part of the line that goes up towards the tree, and then this is the main line that goes down towards the ground. To feed a figure eight, you are facing the tree, the line is going to come through, okay? And then it's going to go underneath, all right? So you've created the figure eight lock, all right? What that means now is that this is going to hold, okay? But it's not going to be a break. This is only allowing a slow descent. This will not break. Okay, that's where that prusik on the hip becomes very important. As you descend, the line will feed through slowly and you must manually break it. But this isn't mechanical. So at any point that you want to stop, you just let go down here and this will catch and it will hold your weight, okay? So mechanical ascenders are great. Figure eights are also nice because they're nice and easy to unload like that. And these cost a fraction of a mechanical descender like the Madrock Safeguard. So let's come over to the tree and let's show you how it works. All right, so we got everything attached to the tree here. Got my Ropeman 1, connect that to my bridge. Gonna grab my prusik, connect it to my lineman's belt, or loop rather. So now I'm under tension here. And as I go up the tree, I'm gonna take out slack in the Ropeman 1 so I can sit on it. Okay, and then I'm going to reach down, just inchworm my way up the tree and take slack out of the backup carabiner here with this prusik, right? So this will have bite if this were ever to fail. Come up a little bit more. I know I can hear everybody right now, Nate, you're making so much noise. I know, nothing stealth strip, relax, okay? Season hasn't quite opened just yet. So we cannot descend, right? We have to transfer load. This is all about transferring load from one rope to another rope. There's never a time when you should feel slack. When you go to descend in particular, all right? So I'm gonna grab my lineman's belt, and I'm left-handed, although I shoot a bow right-handed, so I like operating with my lineman's belt off my left side. And when I get here, before I transfer load, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna take off my backup real quick, and I'm gonna move it to the other hip, okay? So What this is doing is this is eliminating putting 2 carabiners in one side of your lineman's loop, because you'll bind that up real quick. Okay, so I move because I like to ascend on the right side. I'm going to use this to ascend here in a sec, or descend in a second, and I want to move these 2 carabiners so they're not binding up on each other and clanking. Okay, took 2 seconds, right? It's not a big deal. Take my slack out again, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start transferring load from my main line to my lineman's belt. Okay, so now everything is off my main line. I'm now on my lineman's belt, and I can begin descension. I'm going to feed this through. Now, remember, I'm going to the left side now, right? I'm going onto my left hip. Okay, I need my carabiner to go into my bridge, but when I use a figure 8, I like to make the bridge a lot shorter, so much shorter. Like I've got like just a couple inches here, all right, because this has a lot more slack out of it when you go to sit on it, and so you'll kind of ride a little bit lower. So I like to shorten that bridge up to make that as less scary as possible. I'm going to bring this figure 8 down here, clip the little end into my carabiner. Again, that gate is facing me, and I can pull slack out of my figure 8. Nothing crazy. Again, I'm still on my lineman's belt, but I'm trying to remove as much slack as possible out of my main line. There we go, into the left hip. So now I'm starting to get to a position where I can transfer load from my lineman's belt into my figure 8. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Remember, that carabiner is attached to my lineman's loop. So even though the weight is now being transferred into my bridge, there's also tension on my lineman's loop over here to the left. But you notice I'm now completely transferred of load. This carabiner, when I use a figure 8, I just let it swing. I don't need to clip it over here. That carabiner is already over here. And now my left hand is now the brake. Again, I'm never going to just grab the prusik, right? I'm always going to grab above the prusik. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start using 2 hands, and I'm just letting that prusik, at any point, I just let go. Or if I grip, it's just going to bite, right? So hypothetically, if you're in a pinch and you're coming down and your bow's here or whatever, and you need to take a shot, pull your bow up and take a shot. I mean, you're totally safe, right? But again, main line, right above the prusik. I'm going to start leading tension out, and I'm just going to start slowly descending. Any point I need to stop, I just let go, take my stick off the tree, drop it to the ground, whatever I need to do. Again, more out of the prusik, and I just keep descending all the way to the ground. When I'm here, everything just gets unclipped, and I can begin packing up what's on the ground, and I have made it safely from however high I went back down to the ground. Now, if you've never seen a rappelling method before, your main question probably is, how the heck do you get the rope out of the tree once you get it all the way up there? It's very simple. You take a piece of another cord. Some guys use paracord. I like using, I think it's either 1/8 or 7/64 inch amp steel, and I connect it to the quick link that's up there, or I use an ohm tether locker from Kyle over at Innovating the Outdoors. You take a few steps back from the tree, and all you got to do is just pull it, and it'll feed that rope right down the tree. Now, if you have a nice straight tree like this, as soon as you get that open enough, it usually just falls to the ground. If you do wrap it around a branch, you will have to feed all the rope through, and I got 40 feet down here. But even still, I've put this on shagbark trees, multiple limb trees, oak trees that look like a toilet brush, and I've been able to get the rope out just fine. I'm telling you right now, rappelling is by far the safest I have ever felt. Whether I'm climbing in with a tree stand, saddle, one stick, multiple sticks, whatever the case may be, rappelling has just been the most cost-effective thing I have ever purchased while hunting. I've just never felt more secure and safe as I get out of the tree. Everything about it, just whether it's early season, late season, I feel like I'm quieter, I feel like I'm stealthier. I just feel just in general that it has been the best investment for my mobile hunting career. So that's all for this video. If you have questions on using a Madrock Safeguard or Ropeman 1 with a figure 8 or some Prusiks or whatever, do drop a comment down in the comment section below if you feel you got questions or other tips and tricks for other people that might view this video. If you want to come down and check out saddle hunting stuff for yourself, you can always check us out at 21 North Front Street in Phillipsburg, PA, Average Jack Archery Pro Shop and Range. We are your local tethered dealer, so we sell a bunch of saddle hunting accessories, platforms, sticks, and of course saddles as well, to get you out there and get you mobile and have the best hunting season you've ever had. Hope you're able to get outside, enjoy the sport of archery hunting if you so choose. Definitely enjoy God's beautiful creation. Stay tethered the entire time, and we'll get to see you next time.